Welcome to Climate Code, decoding the future of our planet, one innovation at a time. Imagine a warm spring day in Switzerland, sunlight glinting off the pristine surface of Lake Zurich. The air is crisp, the sky impossibly blue, and in the distance, majestic alpine peaks rise above lush green forests. On this day, something extraordinary is about to happen. Something that could change the way we think about energy, the environment, and the future of travel itself. In the quiet town of Herleberg, a Harley-Davidson motorcycle stands waiting. But this isn't just another ride. Today, engineer Aldo Steinfeld is about to embark on a groundbreaking journey, the world's first motorcycle ride powered entirely by solar gasoline. Yes, you heard that right. Fuel made from the power of the sun. What does that even mean? Solar gasoline? Imagine if, instead of drilling deep into the earth for fossil fuels, we could create clean, powerful fuel using just sunlight, water, and a bit of science. That's the vision behind Synhelion, a pioneering company on a mission to replace petroleum products with sustainable synthetic fuels. Their secret? Harnessing the sun's energy in a way that's never been done before. Let's break down the magic. Synhelion's Dawn plant, located outside Dusseldorf, Germany, is where science fiction meets reality. Picture an entire acre covered in mirrors that track the sun, focusing its energy onto a tower that rises more than 6 stories high. Inside this tower, a reactor gets supercharged with concentrated solar heat. Agricultural waste, think leftover straw, corn cobs, and even grass clippings, along with water, are fed inside. The intense sunlight drives a chemical reaction that creates a gas mixture of hydrogen and carbon monoxide, called syngas. But that's just the beginning. This syngas is then transformed molecule by molecule into liquid hydrocarbons, essentially synthetic gasoline. The result? A fuel that can power cars, motorcycles, even airplanes, without needing to modify the engine or global fuel infrastructure. It's a drop-in replacement for the gasoline we use today, but with a fraction of the environmental impact. Now you might be wondering, how is this different from electric vehicles or traditional biofuels? Here's the game changer. Solar gasoline is nearly carbon neutral. For every molecule of carbon dioxide released when it's burned, the same amount was captured during its production. This means the carbon cycle is closed, drastically reducing net emissions by at least 80% and possibly up to 99% as the technology improves. In other words, it's a way to keep our engines running while helping heal the planet. Back in Switzerland, Aldo Steinfeld fills up his Harley with the clear, golden liquid. The symbolism is powerful. A classic American motorcycle, known for its roaring engines and love of the open road, now fueled by pure sunlight. As the engine rumbles to life, Steinfeld eases onto the lakeside road. The bike glides smoothly, its performance indistinguishable from fossil-fueled rides, except for the knowledge that this journey leaves behind almost no carbon footprint. But this story isn't just about one epic ride. It's about visionaries and relentless innovation. A decade ago, the idea of making gasoline in the lab from sunlight and air seemed like a wild dream. Steinfeld, a professor at ETH Zurich, along with his former student Philip Furler, began with small-scale experiments, producing a few drops of fuel in a test tube. It was, as Furler jokes, probably the most expensive kerosene ever. But passion, science, and belief in a better future kept them going. By 2019, Synhelion had produced carbon-neutral fuels from a demonstration plant in the heart of Zurich. Fast forward to today, and their Dawn facility is producing solar gasoline at an industrial scale, with plans to ramp up to over 100,000 tons per year by the next decade. Their sights are set even higher. By 2040, they want to supply half of Europe's synthetic aviation fuel demand. Why does this matter to you? Because the world is at a crossroads. Fossil fuels not only pump carbon dioxide into the air when we burn them, but their extraction and production are also major sources of pollution. As climate change accelerates, triggering wildfires, floods, and rising sea levels, the need for sustainable energy solutions is more urgent than ever. But change doesn't have to mean sacrifice. Imagine road trips without guilt, air travel without compromise, engines that roar with adrenaline but not emissions. Solar fuels offer a bridge between the world we know and the future we need. A future where mobility is sustainable, accessible, and just as thrilling as ever. Now, let's talk numbers, because impact matters. The aviation industry alone burns through nearly 400 million tons of jet fuel every year. If solar fuels could replace even a fraction of this, the emission savings would be massive. And because this fuel is compatible with existing engines and infrastructure, it means airlines, shipping companies, and everyday drivers don't need to wait for an all-electric world. The transition can start now. Of course, there are challenges. Right now, solar gasoline is expensive to produce. After all, building giant solar fields and advanced reactors isn't cheap. But remember, solar panels and wind turbines were expensive once too. With each breakthrough, each new plant, the cost drops. Technological innovation, economies of scale, and rising demand for clean energy are set to make solar fuels more affordable and widespread in the coming years. Innovation doesn't happen in a vacuum. Across the globe, researchers and companies are racing to develop new forms of synthetic fuels. Some are turning to algae, others to captured carbon dioxide from the air. But Synhelion's approach, using the sun's energy directly to power the chemical transformation, offers a uniquely elegant solution. It taps into an energy source that's limitless, clean, and available almost everywhere. Picture a future where solar fuel plants dot the landscape, each one capturing sunlight, recycling carbon dioxide, and turning waste into power. Cities and highways powered by the sun itself, with engines that hum with the promise of sustainability. The ride along Lake Zurich isn't just a symbol, it's a preview of what's possible. For those of us in our 20s and 30s, this is our moment. We grew up in a world filled with warnings about climate change, but also with the tools to innovate, connect, and make a difference. Technologies like solar fuels show that solutions are within reach. They remind us that the choices we make, what we drive, how we travel, what we support, can fuel revolutions. Think about the impact on your own life. With solar fuels, you wouldn't have to give up the freedom of the open road, the rush of a motorcycle, the adventure of exploring new places. You could keep moving, only now every mile is a step toward a cleaner, more sustainable world. But the story doesn't end here. Every new technology needs champions, people willing to believe, to invest, to demand change. That's where you come in. Share this story. Start conversations. Ask questions. Support companies and policies that push for sustainable solutions. The future belongs to those who seize it. So, the next time you hear a motorcycle roar past or board a plane to your next destination, imagine a world where that power comes from the sun. Imagine the freedom of movement, the thrill of innovation, and the pride of knowing you're part of something bigger. A movement to rewrite the rules, to close the carbon cycle, and to protect the planet for generations to come. This isn't science fiction. It's happening right now on the shores of Lake Zurich, in high-tech labs across Europe, in the minds of engineers and dreamers everywhere. The question isn't if we'll get there, it's how fast and how boldly we're willing to ride into the future. So are you ready to join the journey? The road ahead is open, and the sun is shining.